here tonight. And we salute all of them, 2 seniors, a sophomore, and a freshman. Good evening, folks. Hey, guys. Welcome. Welcome to Heisman Trophy Night 2021. Great to have these Heisman winners back. Nice to be face-to-face after last year on screens. And nice to have a brand new home for the Heisman Trophy here. This is spectacular, and it just shows that the scenes change, the times change, they challenge us. But what is timeless is the excellence that this award represents, the emotions of this evening, and what it takes to get here. And that'll be on display when we meet the 4 Heisman Trophy finalists as chosen by the almost 900 Heisman ballots that were returned. What a race. It was a season of surprises, quick plot twists and turns, and that was mirrored by the Heisman Trophy race. So here they are, the 4 Heisman finalists, the menacing, mean Michigan pass rusher, senior Aiden Hutchinson, who led the Wolverines to a Big Ten Conference Championship and the College Football Playoff. Aiden, congratulations.
Thank you.
We have 3 quarterbacks now. Kenny Pickett from Pittsburgh. What a spectacular season he had, leading the Panthers to the ACC crown and breaking Dan Marino's welcome. C.J. Stroud, just a phenomenal first year as starting quarterback for Ohio State. A Californian making his very first visit to New York City this weekend. C.J., how are you? Great to be here. Right over there. Got to get him lined up correctly. That's my fault. And Bryce Young, a fellow Californian, of course, the quarterback for the top-ranked Crimson Tide. Off to the CFP. There was the drive against Auburn, and then there was the dominance against Georgia. Bryce, welcome. Now, we're going to hear about the loved ones, the teammates that helped them get here tonight. On our team, we have 4 Heisman Trophy winners. Andre Ware could not make it, but please welcome Desmond Howard, celebrating his 30th anniversary Heisman Trophy. How can it be? Tim Tebow. Tim, welcome. And Robert Griffin III, a 10th anniversary Heisman Trophy winner. Guys, you know better than anyone what these guys are feeling right now, so have at it.
Yeah, these guys are very nervous. But I tell you what, how can you come in this venue and not really understand this moment? This is the home that the Heisman deserves, right, guys?
Yes, this is so beautiful.
It's incredible.
Hey, Des.
Yes, sir.
I know you're standing right by your Michigan man, so why don't you just go ahead and ask Aiden the first question, all right? I know you're so excited.
What's this you gave me? Okay, Tim, so check this out, Aiden.
All right,
so you came back to Michigan to solidify your legacy. Has everything you've done up to this point reached those goals, fulfilled those goals?
Yeah, I'd say so. You know, the main mission was to come back, was to beat Ohio State and win a Big Ten championship. And
Hey, Kenny, I'm glad you're in between them. That's good.
And you know,
please stay there.
Better than his offensive lineman.
just
throw him under the bus.
and you know, we did those things. So now we're in the playoffs, so we got a chance to compete for a national championship. So it starts with Georgia on New Year's Eve. So I mean, I'm fired up, and I'm ready to complete the mission.
Dang, Aiden, you got me fired up. Complete the mission. I like it, man. CJ, I got to go to you. First of all, you look awesome. I mean, the outfit is clean. I see it, man.
That has LA written all over it.
No doubt.
Yes, sir.
So, CJ, leading into this year, so many people were so hyped about your team. There was one question mark, and that was you. How did you use that as motivation to step in there and have one of the best seasons in Ohio State history?
Yeah, man, really I just leaned on God, and it was really tough. I mean, a lot of people had questions on how I was going to play, but my teammates had nothing but trust and faith in me. I had a lot of older guys in the room, so I really leaned on them, but I really worked hard on the offseason with my coaches and really put everything to the test, and I really appreciate everybody who helped me out throughout the way.
I think they believe in you now.
100%.
Oh, without a doubt,
100%.
without a doubt.
Absolutely.
So now we go to slick back Kenny, right? Look at the hair. AKA Mr. Fake Slide himself. Right? I'm not going to ask you about the fake slide, but I'm going to ask you a question that's pretty pressing. Are you playing in the Peach Bowl?
We'll find out this week.
Come on. All right, I'll leave it at that, but we talk about my guy Bryce. Okay, so what's your first memory of the Heisman Trophy?
Yeah.
You saw me do the pose?
Desmond, he wasn't alive.
It's called YouTube.
What was your first memory?
I do remember. It was definitely you up here getting the.
Oh,
I see why you asked the question.
That's why you asked that question.
Listen, it's about them tonight.
It is. I'm just saying, me and him both had our first Heisman moment against Oklahoma, right? And maybe that's why Lincoln Riley also gave him the Heisman.
Shots, man.
Hey, Chris, can you come in and save this moment, Chris? Come save this moment.
These guys are young fellas. They don't remember dinosaurs over there. Hey, what's fun about prepping for the show is getting to know these guys. I talked to both Bryce and CJ on the phone. If you don't know, they're buddies from like 13, 14 years old in Southern California. Each talk trash about the other's hoops game. Bryce told me you can't guard him.
That's cool. Everybody lie now and then. You know what I'm saying?
He also said he didn't have to guard you because you're a point guard who didn't shoot the ball very well.
That sounds good.
Okay. All right, guys, we'll find a court and settle all this afterwards. But in the meantime, we'll get going and meet these four finalists here. Will Wells and the whole team winning band once again bringing their energy tonight. Please say hello to them. Will, thank you. And on Heisman Trophy night, we are in Jazz at Lincoln Center right here in Columbus Circle where Central Park South meets Central Park West, this gleaming new home. Stick around. The 87th Heisman Trophy winner announcement coming up.
Good evening. On behalf of the voluntary Heisman trustees, welcome. While it is great to be back in New York, we wish to remember those no longer with us, especially those impacted by the pandemic. The Heisman Trust exists to preserve the integrity of the trophy and is proud to have donated more than $2 million again this year to support our charitable mission assisting disadvantaged and special needs youth throughout the country. This was possible thanks to our premier sponsor, Nissan, as well as Acceptance Insurance and Campus Legends. We thank them and thank you for joining us tonight. Enjoy the ceremony.
Curve ahead.
To and through retirement.
Hello, everybody. This is Pete Dawkins.
This is Derrick Henry.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin.
I'm Devontae Smith, your 2020 Heisman Trophy winner.
Congratulations to this year's finalists.
Welcome to the Heisman family.
The Heisman is a special fraternity.
And tonight is a night you will remember forever. Enjoy the ceremony.
The 2021 Heisman Trophy ceremony is presented by Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy.
President John F. Kennedy once paid this compliment to a pioneer. He said, "Your high standards of performance on the field and off the field reflect the finest qualities of competition, sportsmanship, and citizenship." That message was to Ernie Davis of Syracuse, the first African American to win the Heisman back in 1961. This is the 60th anniversary, and we salute him tonight. The first finalist we focus on is a modern anomaly. Kenny Pickett's start in the Peach Bowl will be his 50th over 5 years at one school, a case of perseverance rewarded. Pitt retooled its offense, recruited some speedy receivers. Kenny ripped up the record books and juiced up his draft stock from day 3 to round 1. This Jersey boy's journey to Broadway is about growth in its many forms.
Tiny but mighty would describe the young Kenny Pickett entering high school at 5'6", 130 pounds. No one except him and mom and dad believed he could reach his dream. As a 6'2" senior playing both ways, Pickett had no Power 5 offers until Pittsburgh saw potential. Kenny was thrown into fire as a freshman. After Pitt was crushed by Clemson in the ACC championship game, Kenny vowed he'd do everything possible to earn another shot. And 3 years later, he seized it. With Pitt legend Dan Marino looking on, Pickett led the Panthers to their first outright conference crown. Pickett leads Pitt with grit, selfless, authentic, no nonsense. Always consistent, clutch, no matter the conditions. His passes are precise, catchable. His deep shot marksmanship, elite. Kenny also deflates defenses with timely scrambling. 400 yards worth this season, including last week's bluff that blew up the internet. The Pickett fake slide, pure instinctive improvisation.
There is nothing fake about Pickett's production. Opponents know he's going to throw. They blitz him constantly, but look how he makes them pay. The superb downfield accuracy under pressure, 20 touchdowns against the blitz, leads the nation. Horrendous stuff. Pleased to have both Holly Rowe and Marty Smith on the team with us tonight. Marty's with Kenny and family, and I guess those 2.5-hour drives, Marty, to quarterback workouts in the winter in New Jersey have paid off well.
I mean, he's sitting here at the Heisman Trophy, Chris. I think that's about the pinnacle of paid off well. I'm here with Kenny, his mother Casey, and father Ken. Kenny, I'll start with you. I read where you said earlier this year there's beauty in the struggle. How does you being here tonight at the Heisman Trophy exemplify that statement about your journey?
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't come into college like this, right? I mean, I had, some adversities early on. I think, all those experiences helped me come into this season and have the type of year that I really wanted to have. So grateful for every experience that I've had, and it's helped me get to this point now.
Casey, in a self-gratification world, he stuck it out. What example do you hope Kenny set for other young people by his perseverance and loyalty?
Believe in yourself, work hard, believe in your teammates, your coaches behind you, and just give it everything you got.
Why was he able to persevere, Ken?
I just think his work ethic. I really do. I think since he's been young, that's been one of the things that stood out to me is just, no one will outwork him. And I think, that'll carry him a long way.
Congratulations on being here tonight, guys. Enjoy it. Try to live in the moment. Chris?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, pardon me, Holly. Holly is with Pat Narduzzi, Pitt's head coach. Holly?
Kenny Pickett told me once that his recruiting road was bumpy. He was 5'9", 150 as a sophomore in high school. What did you see in him that brought him to Pittsburgh and brought him to this season?
We saw a great athlete, and we saw a character guy that we wanted in our program. He wasn't 5'6" when we recruited him. He was a monster at Ocean Township High School. I don't know about that 5'6", but he was a tremendous competitor. He's a leader. He's a pit man, and we love Kenny.
Literally has grown into who he is today. Is that what you're saying?
There's no doubt about it. He looks really good next to Aiden there. I don't know if Aiden could get him down.
We'll see. We'll see one day. All right, let's go back to Chris.
I'm going to be a Kenny Pickett fan on Sundays, and Pat believes that Kenny is a future All-Pro. Next up on Heisman Trophy night, C.J. Stroud, Aiden Hutchinson on opposite sides of a very ferocious rivalry. But first, we want to pause and warmly remember the career and life of a giant figure in Heisman history. He was the caretaker of the award for decades. He was a confidant to these Heisman Trophy winners. He was the conscience of the Heisman. We lost Rudy Riska in September. He himself was a legend. He made a massive contribution to the wider sports landscape, but the Heisman Trophy was his favorite. I feel his presence here tonight, and we dedicate this to Rudy.
My retirement plan with Voya keeps me moving.
The winner gets the trophy and the keys to the Heisman House. Hey, the college football playoff begins 20 days from now. New Year's Eve on ESPN, the matinee in Arlington, Rice and the Tide against undefeated Cincinnati, followed by Aiden and the Wolverines against Georgia in Miami. Well, Kenny Pickett was collecting the Unitas Golden Arm Award in Baltimore last night. The other three Heisman finalists were here in New York City, and they got a holiday surprise from Holly Rowe.
Okay, so none of you have seen this before, right?
No.
Voila!
Wow. It's nice.
It's a large tree.
This is all real.
This is real?
It's real. Bro? This is one of the most iconic spots in New York City.
It is hard. Wait.
So are we going on it or what?
Oh no.
This is your first time in New York City. What have you thought so far?
It's real cool. You can feel like the holiday spirit going on, like the trees and people dressed up, like Santa Claus is walking around. So I like it. It's real cool.
Is it awkward that you two just played each other? Are you going to try to pretend that you didn't sack him?
We're over that. It happened and we moved on.
I got a couple little bruises on my arm, I remember, but it's all right.
best Christmas present you ever got? Go.
Basketball court when I was in the 5th grade.
My dad got me some Grinches, some Kobe Grinches when I was younger. I wish I would have held on to them.
I don't know. I didn't get a basketball court. I would love the basketball court.
All right, let's do a selfie. Aiden, where are you? Aiden, come over.
I'll go right here.
Oh my gosh, that's adorable.
Did one of these really smart guys actually ask if that tree is fake at Rockefeller Center? Well, they grow them that big somewhere up north. Well, from Rancho Cucamonga, California to Columbus, Ohio is 2,200 miles. And the long road from childhood to stardom at Ohio State has not been a straight and smooth one for CJ Stroud. He learned early to live without some of the basics, grew up fast, independent, resilient, survivor, who doesn't share his hardships or make excuses. So an injured shoulder for his first 3 starts, some internet critics. Now, Stroud had the strength to take all of that easily in stride.
Born Coleridge Bernard Stroud IV, the kid known as CJ always stayed grounded in his faith through the ups and downs. He became a 2-sport star at Rancho Cucamonga High. Hoops came naturally. Football was more of a challenge. CJ lost his starting job as a freshman, but worked and waited for his opportunity. He finally blossomed into an elite recruit at one of the powerful programs on his middle school wish list. But CJ didn't throw a pass his first year in Columbus, backing up Justin Fields. Sounds crazy now, but he was considered the question mark on a loaded offense 4 months ago. It starts with Stroud's eyes, probing, manipulating defenders. CJ has total trust in his field vision, his anticipation, instincts, elite accuracy, touch, and timing with the nation's top fleet of receivers. The Buckeyes were like a video game brought to life, and when CJ tossed 6 touchdowns against Michigan State in the first half, even Super Bowl champ Patrick Mahomes stopped to salute.
Now, CJ joins this club of NFL starters, including Mahomes, who carved up ranked opponents, close to 400 yards per game. Even at the Buckeyes' 2 losses, CJ threw for 878 yards, 5 touchdowns, and just 1 pick. Holly, it's cool that he can share his first ever trip to New York City with his mom and his brother tonight.
It is really special because I know family means so much to you. We've talked about you didn't have the quarterback guru coaching you. You didn't have the private coach growing up. You were dodging cars, playing football in the street. Where did this ultimate belief in yourself and competitive spirit really come from?
Honestly, to be honest with you, it came from God. And I always kind of knew I was different from the rest of my childhood and the kids I grew up with, and I always knew that I was destined to do great things. I don't know why, but something in my spirit used to tell me just to go work and go to work every day and have a smile on my face, but still go to work.
You wear it so strong and so proud. And Kimberly, we talked about this. Everything hasn't gone smooth in life, and you've had some challenges to overcome. But how have you raised this young man who has such a spirit and a heart to wear his faith so proudly?
You know, I often say it takes a village to raise a child, and there's been so many monumental people in our lives. We have to give all glory to God, number one, because he's never given up on us. Even when anyone else has, he never has. But CJ is just such a strong young man. He's motivated, and he was the one after every game. He'd be right back out on the field, even if it was by himself throwing passes. So I think strength comes from within, but definitely from God. And yeah, he's my miracle child. He's amazing.
He really is. And brother is here. Asmar, you also have been around him, and he was the baby of the family. Yes. It did take a village, but you guys had to have given him some grief too. How did baby brother grow up with all this great support around him?
You know, he was the youngest, so we kind of just, I don't want to say we picked on him, you know, but we made sure he had that tough mentality, and he always worked hard, you know.
Well, it's beautiful. Thank you for being here and getting to share this moment with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's check in now with Marty Smith, who is standing by with someone else who really believes in CJ Stroud, his coach, Ryan Day.
Thank you, Holly. That's right, here with Coach Day. We've heard a couple of my colleagues tonight say that CJ Stroud was a question mark entering the 2021 season. I wonder what your perspective is on that as the leader of that program, and when for you was he a question mark no more?
Well, I think first off, CJ's been through different things in his life, and adversity makes you stronger if you can work through those things. And he's been through different things in his life, and he's been through things this year, and you've seen him only get stronger when adversity hits. He's a very special young man. The fire burns really hot inside of him, and he's got a really bright future ahead of him.
Appreciate your perspective. Great to see you, Chris.
CJ will be inspired. A homecoming game back in Southern California, New Year's Day. The Rose Bowl, Ohio State against Utah. And we got a Heisman first here tonight. Ohio State and Michigan had never produced Heisman finalists in the same season. Now, you may remember in number 97 Hutchinson sacking quarterbacks back in the early 90s. Aiden is now lifting that family legacy, of course, surpassing Chris's Michigan marks and claiming his first Big Ten crown. But Dad had, like 4 or 5, I think. We won't mention that. Aiden's 2020 was cut short. It ended on crutches and in tears. Michigan had more games canceled than games won. But the culmination of his comeback leaves us this vision of the power and meaning of team.
Tears of sheer joy, the first in Aiden's football life. The release, the relief, a window into what it took, the toil and strife to finally break the Buckeyes' spell. But his journey to Michigan's mountaintop began at birth. His All-American dad became a doctor who helped bring Aiden into the world. He grew up immersed in maize and blue folklore and embraced the challenge of the Hutchinson legacy by choosing Chris's number 97. But until 4 months ago, Aiden's career was unfulfilled potential and unfinished business.
I'm back from my last ride here. I'm willing to die for this, I swear. I want it more than anyone. I promise you that.
Aiden's Michigan manifesto set the tone. He led with contagious fire and positivity, a relentless engine, all out, all the time. Aiden believes his pass rush game is college football's most complete. He races around the edge or runs right through a blocker's face. Strength with length, powerful but pliable. Check out this freakish feat of brawn and balance with 135 pounds. But Hutchinson's heaviest lifting was in Michigan's mauling of Ohio State, unleashing 4 quarters of torment against the nation's most talented offense. An emphatic, euphoric, cinematic final bow in the Big House.
That might have been the Media Day quote of the decade. I saw Jim Harbaugh smiling over there. Aiden led the nation with 73 quarterback pressures, 14 of them against Ohio State. 3 sacks is the most Ohio State allowed one player in a decade. Hadn't allowed a team that many all season. Holly is with Aiden and Chris and Melissa Hutchinson.
Well, Aiden, we see that video where you're saying, I'm willing to die for this. And in a time when it's not cool to care and be seen to be trying so hard, why is it okay for you to be so passionate and so dedicated? Where does that come from?
I think that was the mentality that I really needed for this season. You know, coming off a poor 2020 season, I knew I needed all that heart. I needed all that, energy from my teammates, and I think that really just comes from how I was raised by my 2 parents and growing up. And I was always taught to care the most, and if I'm going to do anything, I'm going to put 100% into it. So I think it's where it came from, and I poured everything into this last season.
You could feel it. There was this moment after you beat Ohio State, you get to the Big Ten championship game, and he's crying. And Mom, I don't know about you, but I'm a mom, and I was crying too with him. I was like, this kid is so amazing. What were you thinking when you saw all of those dreams come true for him?
Oh my gosh, right after the game when everybody stormed the field, it was every man for himself, and my daughter and I just took off, and that was the goal, to find him, found him in the middle somehow. I don't know how that happened, and all of us just stood there and hugged, and everybody screaming and kept saying, I can't even believe this is the most glorious night of my life. And then later I saw a slow motion of him throwing his hands up in the air, and my girls and I have cried over that every time we see it. And we keep rewatching that because that is him. The passion, the enthusiasm, determination, all the integrity he has in him was wrapped up in that one moment.
It really was beautiful. And Dad, you have this unique story because you delivered him. You were the doctor that delivered your son. It's so unusual. How did your dreams for this little boy, and then he goes on a parallel path to your own, match up with the reality?
Well, when we were raising Aiden, we really wanted him to blaze his own path. I didn't want him to be a football player unless he wanted to be a football player. And so we let him choose his path, and I think that's very important, and that's what led him to have this much determination because he wanted it. I didn't want it for him. He's the one that wanted it. He wanted to choose my number. He wanted to create his own legacy, and you know, even though I had some records at Michigan, he was determined to break those records and determined to say, I know you've got 5 rings, Dad, but I'm going to get 1.
He followed the same road, but he's created his own path, and that is the beauty of all of this. Standing by with more on Aiden is Marty with his coach.
Thank you, Holly. That's right here with AP Coach of the Year. Congratulations, Jim Harbaugh. Those who stay will be champions. How did Aiden's decision to stay and come back to the University of Michigan manifest itself with you guys becoming champions?
Well, that was our coach, Chris Hutchinson, myself. Bo Schembeckler said those who stay will be champions. How did Aiden? Aiden epitomizes that. He stayed, he became a champion, he improved his game, he became a captain. He was a great leader. He took our team on his back, along with Hassan Haskins. Broke his dad's record, and I think he's going to be the #1 pick in the draft.
I appreciate you giving Hassan a shout out too. He said #1 pick in the draft, y'all. Chris?
Might not be wrong.
Might not be wrong.
A lot of teams agree. Yeah, to back up the Ohio State emotion by beating Iowa, winning that championship, very, very impressive thing to do. Aiden was a scholar athlete honored by the National Football Foundation this year as a Campbell Trophy finalist. I want to salute the 4 high school students awarded Heisman scholarships presented by Acceptance Insurance. We got the 2020 winners honored tonight, Colby Orcutt and Graham Tui-Gatos. And this year's winners, Adama Pia and Dia Challa. Stand up, folks, and be honored. Wish you continued excellence in all that you do. Well done. Speaking of excellence, we'll put the focus on Bryce Young when we come back on Heisman Trophy night. Will Wells and the whole team winning orchestra playing us to break as we close in on the announcement of the 87th Heisman Trophy winner here tonight in New York City.
My retirement. Just Business, Spectrum Business.
The 2021 Heisman Trophy ceremony is presented by Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy, and in part by Marriott Marquis. The New York Marriott Marquis proudly supports the Heisman Trophy.
I want to mark the silver anniversary of Danny Werfel's Heisman Trophy season with the Florida Gators this year. And we've talked about RG3. It cannot have been a decade since he was Baylor's only Heisman Trophy winner. Time moves fast. We're going to move about 3 stops on the downtown 1 train from here. Madison Square Garden, Top Rank Boxing follows us. The main event, Vasily Lomachenko against Richard Comey, lightweights, as Loma tries to get back to the title picture. But now to the quarterback of the reigning heavyweight champions of college football. Bryce Young could have starred anywhere. He chose Alabama because he says it's the hardest there, the highest standards, the most competitive. The last 3 Crimson Tide quarterbacks are all NFL starters. But to follow one of the great offenses in the history of the sport, surrounded by all new playmakers as a first-year starter, is supposed to be a lot harder than Bryce makes it look.
Before Bryce became a Bama man, he was a California kid whose first love was basketball. But it was hard to hide his promise as a natural passer. Check out this milestone moment, Bryce's first career touchdown toss in Pop Warner. He was taught early tools like positive self-talk and pre-performance routines by his dad, Craig, a mental health therapist. His on-field poise grew quickly. Bryce originally committed to the hometown Trojans, but was drawn to Nick Saban's holistic approach to coaching and Alabama's dynamic offense. Young became a sponge, a fast-learning freshman understudy, as Mac Jones led the Tide to a national title.
Legends never die.
The enemy's mission? Make it look fuzzy, make it feel fast and confusing, make Bryce's eyes lie to him. That mission failed. Furious action seems slow motion for Young, static, free, and flowing. His pro-level preparation creates cool clarity, the calm belief to smile in the face of 4th down with the season at stake. Bryce's late Iron Bowl heroics
Oh, touchdown, Alabama!
set up a supreme performance, dismembering Georgia's dominant defense with 461 total yards, 4 touchdowns. Mesmerizing, improvising, directing, and delivering, adding to an array of astounding throws.
Astounding stats, too, very much in line with the staggering Heisman season of Joe Burrow. An 11-1 ratio of TDs to INTs, 5 games versus ranked teams, 17 touches, just 1 pick. Marty is with Bryce and his mom and dad, Julie and Craig.
Thank you, Chris. We heard Chris just a moment ago, Bryce, mention why you went to Bama, because it's the hardest. I want to read you a quote from a guy you know well. That'd be that guy sitting down there at the end, your dad, Craig. If you're the best player in the gym, find a new gym. How has taking that approach and that mantra ultimately landed you here tonight at the Heisman?
Yeah, it's something that, but it's really been about pushing myself to my limit. Proving things to myself. I've always really sought out the best competition, tried to work the hardest, and it was about doing what I felt like I could do and maximizing my individual capabilities. So I've always kind of been on that goal and mission to push myself to the limit.
He was a chosen one. I mean, he's the highest rated quarterback that's ever gone to the University of Alabama for Nick Saban. How does a night like this manifest your dreams for your son?
It's a blessing, definitely a blessing. I knew he was pretty blessed at a pretty young age. He was very coordinated, very young. So, but all the hard work he's put in over the years, I don't want to say it doesn't surprise me, but I know that he's worked hard to get here, so I'm very proud of him.
It's okay if it doesn't surprise you. I mean, he's put in the work, obviously, and one of the reasons that he's put that work in is your leadership as a father. Back to being a chosen one. A lot comes with being a chosen one. Why has he been able to manage the spotlight so well?
I think he's very grounded in faith, puts God first. And he has this amazing ability to compartmentalize things. One of the things he says really often is, I control the things that I want to only focus on the things I can control. And I think that has served him well. He focuses on the things that he can control and focuses on the things that are important, and doesn't really get distracted in the outside noise, because he's intrinsically motivated. He's motivated to be the best by himself, not to prove anybody wrong, but to be the best that he can be. And in doing that, glorifying God, and then also just striving to get better and better. And I just could not be prouder.
You should be. Tremendous season. Thank you guys so much for your time. Holly's standing by now with Bryce's head coach, Nick Saban. Holly?
Well, Coach Saban, they're talking about not letting the outside noise impact him. He is there with 4th down, 7 yards to go in the Iron Bowl. He's smiling at the line of scrimmage. How do you describe the calm in this first-year starter?
Well, Bryce is kind of the calm in the midst of chaos, I would say. But I think it comes from his great preparation. He's very confident. He has a presence about him. He impacts the players around him in a very positive way. And I think when he goes into the game, he kind of trusts that things are going to work for him because of the work that he's put in, the preparation that he's made, and the confidence that he has in the people around him.
It shows. Thank you so much, Coach. Chris?
By the way, before Nick coached Alabama, they had 0 Heismans. Bryce would like to become the 4th since 2009 at a 3rd different position. It's time for the announcement. Heisman Trophy winners, please return to the stage. The 87th winner will be stepping up here soon to share his heart and join these men after one final timeout.
The classic Hollywood story.
What is a picture truly worth? 1,000 words or 1,000 yards? How about tens of thousands of hours and effort? Not just by one person, but by a whole team of loved ones.
CJ?
Thank you for my family.
the ones who'll be there for your final touchdown pass, because they were there at the first. Those who told you no dream was too big, and proved, yes, you can be born with it.
There's a time. Here comes a sack time. Aiden Hutchinson again. The time is now. Touchdown, Alabama. Find a saving grace. I'm more than fine. A lightning strike, Buckeyes. I'm here today. The time is now. Sauce time. Pickett. Find a saving grace.
Can a picture embody dedication? What about sacrifice? Or hope? Well, if that picture is among this grand gallery, then it silently captures all of those values. Because a picture is a moment frozen in time. And for one of these young men, their moment is now.
Inspiring examples of what it takes, the work, also the love and the support, families, coaches, teammates. I know not every minute in any family is magical, but this is a reminder of the power of loving and supportive families tonight. Thank you for all the families for sharing that. And thank you for what you guys have given us in the sport of college football. And now one of them will have that out-of-body experience that these guys behind me all went through. Please welcome the Heisman Trophy winners from the 1960s, Mike Garrett, who will announce the winner tonight. Steve Spurrier, not quite yet, Mike. In the 70s, Jim Plunkett, Archie Griffin, Tony Dorsett, and Billy Sims. Waited for that. The 80s, George Rogers and Mike Rozier. The 90s, Desmond Howard, Gino Torretta, and Danny Werfel. The 2000s, Eric Crouch and Tim Tebow. And the 2010s, Robert Griffin III. And now the Heisman handoff time is here. 4 faces. Way back when, tens of millions dream about a moment like this. Only one a year gets to experience it. So please welcome now Mike Garrett, Heisman Trophy winner, and Heisman trustee Jim Corcoran for the big announcement.
Thank you, Chris, and good evening. I'm thrilled to be up here tonight with the 1965 Heisman Trophy winner from USC, Mike Garrett, to announce this year's winner of the 2021 Heisman Memorial Trophy. This season was competitive and unforgettable. If you are passionate about sports, you must love college football. To our finalists, thank you for demonstrating the ideals of dedication, discipline, and excellence that the Heisman Trophy represents. I know all of you are very proud to be here tonight to represent your school and your teammates. To the aspiring young athletes watching tonight, I'm sure that the finalists and the winners will tell you this: keep pursuing your dreams, reach for greatness every day, and be the best teammate. Keep working hard in the classroom and on the field, and always stay positive. You never know what you're capable of achieving. To this year's winner, you're about to become a member of the most elite athletic fraternity in the world. And your name will forever be associated with the legacy of being a Heisman Trophy winner. Mike, it's time for history to be made. The winner of the 2021 Heisman Memorial Trophy is
Bryce Young.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
As Archie Griffin said, you now have a new companion for life. It weighs 45 pounds, so be careful, but give it a lift, your new companion. And now the podium is yours.
Wow, this is amazing. First and foremost, I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Without him, I couldn't be here, and through him, all things are possible. I'd like to thank my dad, for always being there for me. From day one, you've always been by my side. You've always been a supporter, more than just a father, but a best friend to me. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. My mom, for always having my back, always supporting me. It's not always easy. I'm always running around, not all the time. You understand it, but you always have my back. You always supported me, and for that, I'm forever grateful. I'd like to thank the rest of my family also, everyone out there that supported me. I'm super grateful. I'd like to thank my teammates, my O-line for protecting me, allowing me to win an award like this. My receivers, running backs, defense for giving me the ball back. Everyone on the team for, whenever you can win an award like this, it goes as an individual award, but it's a team award because I couldn't do it without any of those guys. I'd like to thank Coach Saban. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for your guidance and put me in situations to be successful and for us as a team to be successful. It really means a lot. I'd like to thank Coach O'Brien, my offensive coordinator. He's had a lot of success in the past, and he could have came in and just told me what to do and just said sit down and listen. But he always included me in decisions, always talked to me about stuff. And, that means a lot to me as a quarterback and always gave me a lot of confidence. I'd like to thank my high school coaches, Coach Rollo and Coach P. Meant a lot for me and believing me at such a young age. I'd like to thank my city, Dina, for molding me into the young man I am and for the community always showing support. It means the world to me. I'd like to thank the 3D QB family, Taylor Kelly for always being by my side and pushing me to become a better player and better person. I'd like to thank Jeff Allen and the training staff, Alabama, Miss Amy and the nutrition staff, and Coach Ballou and Dr. Ray for always having my back. I'd like to thank the other finalists. Thank you for allowing me to share this weekend with you guys. It's been an honor to be in New York here with you guys, and it's meant everything. For me, I've always been someone who's been labeled as not the prototype. Being an African American quarterback and being quote unquote undersized and not being that prototype, I've always been ruled out and counted out, and people a lot of times have told me that I wasn't going to be able to make it. And for me, it's always been about not really proving them wrong, but proving to myself what I can accomplish. I've always pushed myself to work the hardest and try my best to do all I can to maximize all I can do. And thanks to the people around me and through the grace of God, I've been able to make it here, and I'm truly grateful for that. So thank you everyone for coming out and everyone watching at home, and have a great night.
Heisman Trophy winning quarterback and the fourth at 3 different positions. And Holly making her way to Bryce's parents.
Well, we saw that adorable picture of him sleeping with a football, and I just can't help but think his football dream became a reality just now. I see the tears coming down. How do you describe hearing that name called?
It's amazing. It's phenomenal. It's all God. It's so wonderful. And it's just all the hard work that all of us as a family have put in. This is just a dream.
You heard him say counted out, undersized. You're a mental health professional, and you have taught him the value of self-talk, positive self-talk. How have you kept your son believing in himself to achieve this?
Well, one, it's easy when you're really good. And so he's so that helps a lot. But also, what I touched on before is it's really about belief in yourself, and it's about belief in your preparation and your abilities, and not allowing people to write your story and to dictate your life to you, and just taking control of your destiny and just being the best person you can be. And I think he personifies that.
It's just one chapter in the story tonight, but I can't wait to read the rest of this book. Chris, back to you.
Holly, thank you. And Bryce, Heisman Trophy winner last year, Devontae Smith, who received it virtually, not able to be here tonight, but if you spin around to the screen, he has a custom-made message for you from a roommate.
Bryce, from the day you stepped foot on campus, we knew you were different. Sure, people had their doubts. Too small, too skinny. They said the same thing about me, but here you are. You're calm. When the world panics, you just smile. When your back's against the wall, you fight your way out. When people ask, what's Bryce Young's Heisman moment? You answer with 97 yards in 1 minute and 35 seconds. Dare everyone doubts you again, and once again, magic. I remember 2020. You waited your turn. You developed. You bought into the process. Some people might have forgotten your first touchdown pass at Alabama.
Bryce Young eludes one, throws on the run, touchdown for Devontae Smith.
Little did they know that pass from one Heisman winner to another. So from the entire Alabama family, we just want to say thank you and welcome to the Heisman Brotherhood.
Guys, say hello to your new Heisman Trophy Club member, Bryce. You're with them for life. Shout out to Modern Day High School, by the way. This is the third Heisman winner from Modern Day High in LA. John Hewart, Matt Leinart, and now Bryce Young. Marty's got more information now on the Heisman voting. Marty?
Indeed I do, Chris. I just spoke with our friends at Deloitte. Bryce received 684 first place votes in this year's Heisman voting and 2,311 total points. Meanwhile, Matt Corral, Ole Miss quarterback, is the winner of the Nissan fan vote. A couple other notes about Bryce's amazing season and amazing evening tonight. He finished first in all 6 Heisman regions and received 83% of the total possible points, actually 7th highest in the history of the Heisman. What a night, Bryce. Congratulations. Enjoy this. Chris?
And thanks again to all the families for sharing their stories and giving us a small taste of what it takes to produce guys like these 4 Heisman finalists and make it here tonight. Bryce Young, congratulations. Wear it well. We'll see you in the college football playoff. Crimson Tide in Cincinnati on New Year's Eve in Arlington, Texas. Well, it was a season of twists and turns, and the Heisman race reflected that. Many folks had held onto their balance until the very last minute. Bryce Young's closing argument against Auburn and Georgia, very, very convincing. We thank you for spending this evening with us in our brand new home of the Heisman Trophy in New York City. Happy holidays to all of you, and we'll see you at the college football playoff. Top Rank Boxing is coming up next on ESPN.
That is a live shot of